Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome, everyone, for a very special episode 382 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about our powerlifting meet. Welcome. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy. Man, you summed that up really good right there, Tanner.
So this episode, you're going to hear the full rundown of a wild and crazy weekend of Massenomics. Maybe, Tommy, was it the wildest and craziest weekend of Massenomics weekend ever?
I think so. I mean, the only thing that would come close would maybe be like the Arnold, but that's kind of a different thing too. So
that's kind of a different thing. So I'm marking it wild and craziest Massenomics weekend.
It's in the
ever,
books. It's official.
Ever. But first, before we talk about all that, I want to tell you a little bit. I want to tell all of you a little bit about JUGGERNAUT AI. JUGGERNAUT Training Systems is the leader in strength, having helped thousands of athletes from beginners to world champions maximize their results and reach their goals. They use principle-based coaching through cutting-edge technology to help the lifters get the best results of their life. Those best results of their life, we had a whole bunch of lifters competing this weekend in our Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic Powerlifting meet that use JUGGERNAUT AI to get themselves there. A whole bunch of them. I'm just going to pick a couple off the top of my hat that I know we're using it. Justin Lindner uses JUGGERNAUT AI, and he had an awesome meet. All numbers across the board. He is pumped about all of them, and he's been using that through his strength and peaking here. Big Jen, she was using she was using JUGGERNAUT AI, I believe, too.
Believe so,
unless I'm wrong, but I'm pretty positive. She had a great meet. Big Tyler from Massenomics Gym, she used JUGGERNAUT AI and had a pretty sweet meet herself. So that's just three. I just basically picked three random lifters out of the hat.
Ryan,
all
Larry,
use JUGGERNAUT
Caden.
AI. Yeah.
List goes on and on.
Ross.
Yep.
Ross. The list goes on, really. But, actually, Big Matt. I think he was using JUGGERNAUT AI, too, if I remember.
I think so, yes.
Big Matts.
Yep.
So all kinds of them that just crushing numbers, making the proof be inside of the pudding this weekend at the Massenomics Powerlifting meet.
Putting it in that
JUGGERNAUT
pudding.
AI. Oh, discount code is Massenomics. Best part of the whole thing. Saves you 10% for the lifetime of that membership at JUGGERNAUT AI. Use discount code Massenomics. Sign up on the website, juggernautai.app.
And today's show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars and their brand spanking new, sharpest in all the land, 29 millimeter power bar. Tanner, I saw that thing getting passed around. Went through a field test at the gym
pass.
this weekend. Yeah, people.
We did
like,
that game
where it's like a baseball bat where you end up on the top. It looked like people were just loving that bar.
Whoever gets it last is the shaft master.
Was there some high praise going to that thing?
Oh yeah, high praise even from Texas natives themselves. The big. I mean, we call him the president of North Dakota. He's actually from Texas, Big Dylan Coates. He even said, yep, this is a Texas bar. It gets the
and he would know.
And Big Bob from Texas was there too. And he said, yep, I give this my Texas seal of approval. And so we literally had two Texans there to tell us, is this in fact a Texas power bar? Is it good? Does it meet your standards? And yes, clear cut across the board. They loved it.
And in case you weren't sure if we love Texas power bars, we also made sure to use Texas squat bars and Texas deadlift bars at the meet. So it was a very Texas power bars kind of weekend for us.
It was.
And if you'd like to get a Texas power bar of yourself, make sure to go to texaspowerbars.com.
Thanks, Texas Power Bars. Oh, man. This is a little unorthodox, but maybe I could start this episode with a supporting members segment.
Maybe. Just get it out there.
Yeah, this is, like I said, this is a little bit unorthodox. This usually comes around the midpoint of the show.
This might just take us to the midpoint of the show.
I do want to formally, so supporting our members, what this is a segment of the podcast, relatively new and growing segment, growing as you'll notice by all the people I need to shout out this week, where our people that have chose to support Massenomics through our supporting membership, we like to give back to them each week. One of the ways we do that, actually the main way we do that each week, is through this segment. But there is other perks to becoming a supporting member. There's a discount code out there that you can use. You get access to our Discord community, which people were using that this weekend for it was Kruber.
Man, we say there's an active community in there on normal days. Have a meat weekend, and then you'll really know what an active community is.
Then it really gets active. But no, I just want to support some of the crew that was here and lifting this weekend. So Big Jen, thank you. Great meet from Big Jen. Thanks for coming out of Iowa, of course. Let's see. Then we've got Big Murph, made the trip from DC, had a great meet. Actually, I think we'll get to some more of this. I'm just gonna rattle them off.
Yeah,
crew at first. Big Melissa came in from Montana. Great job, Melissa. Big Susan made the trip from South Carolina. Great meet, Big Susan. Big Rachel was willing to leave her goats at home and come to the meet. So great job, Big Rachel.
They would be proud, though, right?
Yeah. She made her goats very proud. Made sure to tell her that. Big Nathan, just not too far down the road from Watertown. Good job, Big Nathan. Big Grayson's Anatomy out of Sioux Falls. Big Chris, former member of Judd Who's, of course. Big Chris out of Rapid City. Big Jake. Do we have a doctor in the house? Yes, we do. It's Big Dr. Jake.
From State Farm.
Big Ryan Bridenthal came down from North Dakota to compete in the meet. Big Ryan Johnson, Jacked and Ginger, got out of shooting the next season the Righteous Gemstones and was able to make it to the meet.
Mm-hmm.
Scants.
There's a writer's strike right now. I'm not sure if you're aware, Tanner. So.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, he's probably had free time anyways then. Scants, just needs no further introduction, right? I mean, if you don't know, he was in the Aberdeen Insider, so yes, he sort of was the mole again.
Mm-hmm.
They featured an article where it was titled about Canadian tank driver comes to Aberdeen. I got a couple copies of it. I'm going to get one framed for the gym.
It's a catchy headline, that's for sure.
There is basically no gym wall space left at this point in time, but I will find it somewhere to put that. Big Waffle Iron Jim, of course, Big Steve came in with his Hawaiian shirt, best shirt of the meet. Big Dylan, I just mentioned him earlier, flew up. What did they?
Flew into Sioux Falls from Texas.
They flew, from down in Texas there. He and his wife made the trip. Big Mostly Squat Videos, Matt came for, he really lifted hard and lived easy. He did both really well.
There's not many people that did both harder than him.
Yes, I'll give him that. Big Matt Cesney. This says Lockport. I was announcing him as from Niagara Falls. He's right next to it. Niagara Falls sounded a lot more fun, I thought. So
people know what that means.
And then Big Lee, of course, also left his goats. I think Rachel has some goats and Lee has some goats. So they each had to part with some of their goats. Man, there's a lot of supporting members. I'm not even done.
I was going to say, there's no way you're done yet.
Big Jake the Snake Heinrich, supporting member, competed in the meet. Big Bob from Texas. Bob is one of those guys I had no face with the name whatsoever.
Me either.
Until this weekend. And now I'll forever know exactly who that is and, have this connection now.
And that he enjoyed Chislick and Storybook Land.
Yeah. Like many people on this trip did. Big Paul Foss came up from Sioux Falls.
Finally, and I had no clue who he was.
Now if you ever run into him,
Yep.
And, a lot of these guys had great style, with their long hair and beards. I mean, these people knew how.
There's something in the water there.
Let's see. Big Chris Daminger was in attendance with his wife, of course. So that was great to see Big Chris come out of New Jersey there. I'm just double checking something. Jonathan Oldham, of course, he probably needs no further introduction. Keith Honeycutt one of the secret Davids made the trip all the way from Rochester, New York. So that was pretty cool, obviously. Keith had an awesome meet as well.
He did.
Mostly all these people did, for that matter. Big Lou Nutter up from Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
Lived very easy.
Mm-hmm.
Big Justin Lindner out of Massenomics Gym. Let's see. Okay, that's what I want to check. Okay. Alec Lee out of Massenomics Gym. Flying Ryan out of Aberdeen. Matthew Sundling recently joined the Discord and competed this weekend and lifted easy. John Roy out of Aberdeen, supporting member, competed. Caden Johnson, of course, big Caden, recently heard on Unpaid and Underrated.
That's how I learned about him, was the Unpaid and Underrated
that's
podcast.
through the yeah. Big Ben Bile out of Pierre. First time I really know who Big Ben is. Big Riley Dawson out of Pierre also. Now I know who that is. Big Emmett.
Yep.
From Ohio made the trip. Big Massenomics from Aberdeen. Big Bryce Woolman, our perfect little sweetie himself.
Yeah.
And last, of course not least, Big Eddie competed this weekend.
Yes.
Making the trip from Leola, PA.
And then there are still some additional members. Of course,
Big Dave competing, but
who put on the meet.
Dave, meet director.
Big Zach, singer extraordinaire.
Sang the national anthem, crushed it, as a matter of fact. He did awesome.
He did.
That
was a great start to the day.
He's got some pipes on him, doesn't he?
He does.
How about the spotters and loaders? There's quite a few. I know that Big Tommy, Big Tom, Big James, those three are all supporting members.
Yeah, you weren't saying the same person twice there.
No,
There's just
that's
a lot of Tommies and Toms.
Yeah. It was like a Tom convention.
Yeah.
It was like a Tom Ryan Matt convention.
Oh my
What's
God.
your name, Tom Ryan or Matt?
Like every time I meet someone, I'm like, okay, it's either my name or my brother's name, so I guess we're good.
There was like 7 people in the meet named Ryan, I'm pretty sure.
I know.
Every other person was Ryan.
I think there was actually a point where I said, who's that again? And you said, oh, that's Ryan. And I just was thinking, if I don't know someone, their name's Ryan. Their name is just Ryan at this event. Yeah.
Then other crew that made the trip, Big Joey and Big Steve drove down from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Big Ryan from Iowa drove up in his Honda Civic.
Big Derek
rode the Triumph from Virginia Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
Was a traveler. It's hard to keep track of the travelers.
Yeah, that's why I was on lifters. I could rely on my list right here.
Yeah, we're definitely forgetting someone, but
yeah,
that's a pretty good list.
So that was quite the supporting members. So thank you, every supporting crew member that played a part in making this weekend possible.
Yes, thank you. And there was a lot of you.
Yeah.
We got to bump those numbers up though, right?
Those are rookie numbers. There's only like 50 of them here. We got to bump those up. Maybe before we dive right in, maybe we should enjoy a quick beverage.
I 100% agree. And this is,
speaking of supporting members.
Yep, Big Joey. Assuming he had to smuggle these across the border in some way we don't want to know how. This is the President's Choice root beer sparkling water.
I'm excited for this. President's Choice is good.
Oh, it just smells like it right off the first crack.
Well, I judge a lot by its crack. I will judge a book by its cover.
Here, actually, before I say anything, I'm going to let you get to it.
I'm just going to do Huck Finn's mating call first. Okay. Oh, yeah, that popped. It actually popped. I don't even know if it cracked. It popped. Oh, that's good.
Isn't it? It is really good.
Yeah.
I do enjoy root beer. And this, it's just a touch off, but I could totally handle this knowing that, if someone gave this to me, I'd be like, there's something wrong with the root beer.
Right.
But,
because it's not.
Yeah, right. It doesn't have that sugary taste at the end.
Right.
But knowing this is sparkling water, I could totally handle that. If I had to make do with something.
Yeah. Good catch, Big Zach. Big Mo was there. Well, actually, here. Okay, yeah. Wait a second. Yeah, Big Mo
Yep.
was there, and he was with Beef Logic. He was handing out beef jerky for everyone, supporting a member. Big Mo came up from the southeast of South Dakota. Big Grant and Big D and Big Connor.
Yeah.
All supporting members from the Strength Co, of course, that were there. So there was there was 4 more supporting members just right there that we had actually already forgotten. So I know there's probably 7 more that we're still forgetting.
Easily, for sure. Yep. Just give it time. Give it time. We'll get most of them.
So what do you give?
This is really good, though. I still give this
Joey brought it with him.
Yeah, I still think I give this a 4. It's really good.
I would give it a 4 also. Big Joey and Big Steve brought us several beverages from Canada for us to get through.
They did.
Big Jen also gave us both a 6er of something to try.
We figured maybe we should take a break from drinking for like at least a day or 2.
Yeah, I don't need a brewski right now, honestly.
This is good. I'm actually curious if we've had any flavor that's not a fruit flavor get a 4. You probably gave that birthday cake a 4 way back in the day, the Ugly Water.
Ooh, I do like Uglies. I miss R.I.P. Ugly Water.
Gone forever.
Well, didn't they have what else? Other flavors did they have?
They're cherry cola.
Oh, they had a Dr. Pepper one too. Like
Was there?
That was yeah, and that was good also.
Yeah, I just remember the cherry cola was changing the game when we had that one.
Oh yeah. Oh, I miss that. I could go for one of those right now. Let me tell you.
But this'll do.
Can. Yeah, no, this is really good. President's Choice, I think, is doesn't miss very often.
No, they do not. Okay, should we start talking about the weekend? The timeline of events?
It's the freaking weekend. I'm about to have me some fun.
Okay, R. Kelly, slow it down over there.
Yeah. Where do we start the beginning on this thing?
So,
It was
I think so.
Overall, Cliff Notes, it was quite the journey.
Yeah, I was going to say that my weekend started earlier than yours, but I actually think they probably started in the same time because while I was getting a jump start on travel on Wednesday night, you were getting a jump start on packing the booth on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I got, I was getting our inventory ready, which the Massenomics booth is a monster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like getting the booth. Because the thing is, all the inventory that goes to the booth is inventory that normally is what's stocking the shelves of our online store.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that goes to the booth has to come out of the store, you know, physically but more so like in a virtual sense, like the numbers have to come out. Otherwise, it can cause panic and dismay and confusion and delay.
Yeah.
So that's a biatch. That's a real biatch. That's like the biggest thing that would like prevent me from wanting to do. If we did like an in-person event every month, almost have to have a different system. A couple times a year, it's manageable.
Yeah.
But
I know. Well, and then we talk about, because we wouldn't necessarily, we've talked about this before, we wouldn't necessarily have to take them out of inventory because we can do a POS system with our thing.
Right.
But we also give away a lot of
That's the
stuff to
problem.
people over there, which also presents a problem.
Right.
And yes, we could. And then also we weren't the ones running the booth either. It was other people. So then to introduce this new system for them also seemed like it would be added complexity. So we have yet to cross that bridge. But yeah, until then, it's just never an easy I mean, and even that aside, it is an enormous amount of work. Actually, a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about is documented in part 1 of the YouTube video. You should go watch that right now if you haven't. I
love the YouTube video.
Oh man, isn't that great?
Part 1. It's like 8 or 9 minutes of just skipping around. Like the weekend was so fun, and when I watched that video, I'm like, I already missed this weekend.
Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many times I've watched that video between editing it. You know, you take all the footage, so I'm breaking it down into 2 parts, and part 1 just goes from the initial planning up into, you know, the night right before the meet. And so there's so much stuff you got to edit down, and then you get it to about 8-9 minutes, and you say, okay, this is the right amount. And then you go back through and you do some little tweaks here and there and on and on. You just end up watching the whole thing 10 times, and then you export it and you're like, okay, I should probably watch it again just to make sure nothing happened weird. And then you upload it to YouTube and you say, okay, I better watch it again just to see how it looks on YouTube. And then it runs across your feed on like the TV. I'm like, I got to know what this looks like on the TV.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've watched this damn video like 30 times and I still laugh every time too.
It is great. It's so many of the crew members getting in there. Just does make it so much fun.
And there will be way more of the crew in part 2 between the meet and the zoo specifically. I tried to get almost everyone that went to the zoo involved. So
did you just carry your camera the whole time at the zoo?
I didn't put it down once. It was in my hand. The only time I put it down was if I was buying a drink, I'd set it on the counter to get my wallet out of my pocket. Other than that, it was in my, and I didn't have this. I was going to bring the strap, like everyone puts the neck strap on their camera. I forgot to bring it. So I held it in my hand the entire time. And if I would have dropped it, it probably would have broke, but I held that thing for like 5 straight hours in my hand. Which is insane.
Yeah. I don't even remember you having it.
Oh, I did. And I did. And I actually have not even looked at hardly any of that footage. And I think I'm going to be, because I don't hardly remember it either. I mean, I drank a lot at that point too. And it, like, when you're first starting, even when I'm recording, I'm hyper aware that I have a camera in people's face and it's awkward for me. And I know it's awkward for them. But by the time you're at the zoo and everyone's drinking, they're like, oh, it's just the camera again. And I know there was a ton of just goofy stuff people were saying. So that video should be funny.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Is that what we do? We're going through the timeline though?
I think so, right?
Or do I would say if I could rate this, just so people get a flavor and don't have to wait for the entire end. If I had to rate it, this was a smashing success.
Oh, I think it exceeded our expectations in every way, right? Like it smashed our. I mean, we had expectations for attendance, sales, just people that would show up, how smooth the day would go, like everything, and it blew it out of the water in every way, didn't it?
I'm actually, like, as much as anything, most concerned how anything we ever did again could even live up to it.
Oh, the bar is set so high
better?
for us. Yeah. It's going to be very hard to one up this. Like it will take an enormous amount of work to ever beat this.
Yeah, yeah. And we can put a bow on it towards the end too in the conversation a little bit. But Wednesday you drove to Western Northeast South Dakota on Wednesday.
Yeah, I got there Wednesday night like 10:30ish and went pretty much straight to bed. And I actually, out of the entire trip, Wednesday was the night where I'm like thinking, what have we got ourselves into? Like there's definitely something we're gonna mess up. There's definitely something we got wrong. Something like that was the first time I was having doubts about the whole thing, which is funny. That was the only time in the process that happened. But yeah, it was Wednesday night. I had trouble sleeping that night because I'm just thinking there's something that's not going to work out right here.
Yeah,
but that wasn't the case.
No, we didn't do anything on Wednesday though. Like we didn't get together yet until Thursday.
No, we didn't see each other at all. It was Thursday morning then. You and me, we got together. Well, I stopped by your house and I think you were just finishing up loading the trailer, and then we decided to shoot that last minute Aberdeen tour video, which feels like that was a month ago now, doesn't it?
That does feel like a really, really long time ago, doesn't it?
Yes. So we shot that. That was actually a really fun video to make, though. We shot that tour video. It was just, we had no plans. It was, all right, let's just grab the dumb meet itinerary we made and just follow the steps on here. And we went to the 10 locations, whatever it was, had a dumb one-liner at each one of them. We got that edited together. We got that shot. We stopped at Taco John's, of course, too, for a lunch break. And we got that shot. And then you said, okay, there's people at the gym that can help load up weights right now. I got to get them. And so you went there. I ran home or to where I was staying. I ran to the in-laws, edited the video for like an hour, got it uploaded to YouTube. I called you and you're like, yep, we're all done. We're good. Just go to the ice arena. And I met you there. And then we started building the booth then.
Yeah, because we had already unloaded the booth supplies from my trailer and pickup earlier. So then I was able to go load up all the, all the strength co plates, barbells, weight trees. It's a lot of plates, man. Mm-hmm. To fill up a 3-platform weight warm-up room is a lot of plates that you got to take there. That maybe I underestimated what the amount of equipment that actually needs to get moved.
How many sets of 45s was it?
I think we brought 17 sets. 17. Enough for
and they were also,
maybe it was overdone a little bit, but I just was like, I don't want the big boys warming up to be using 3 racks and not have enough plates, Like it was enough to put 600 pounds plus on each warm-up rack at the same time, you know.
But they were all strength co. They were all strength co plates too, right?
There was a couple rogue in there that I just had to supplement that were a last second add in that I'm just like, let's just grab a couple
Just
more
out of caution.
I don't want any, like, I don't want this to be a thing at the meet where like someone says, oh, it was really good. I just wish like we had a couple more plates in the warm up room, you know? So I'm like, grab a couple more plates so that doesn't come up. But yeah, we got those, who helped me? It was Big Brody, also a supporting member. He helped a few times over the weekend. He helped load that up. And then, was it Big Anthony that helped load? And
I believe so. I thought you said him.
yeah. And I can't, Big Ryan Johnson.
Oh,
Jacked and Ginger helped load up. He is actually,
that's
he
right.
got a warm up in.
Yes.
He got a warm up in. He helped us load up plates. Yeah. So we got that unloaded, and that's when we met you there, and we started setting up the booth. And the booth setup takes a long time. Well, and Dave rolled in right about that same time then too.
Yeah, so Dave was getting set up then. Yeah, and I just could never get it through my head that the booth just always takes like 2+ hours to set up, no matter what. Like we know exactly what needs to happen now. Like there used to be guesswork. There's no guesswork now. We know what needs to happen, and it still takes 2 hours. You know.
Yeah.
But actually, that is a lot better. Our first time setting up ever probably took 5 or 6 hours. So we are getting way better at that, but it still just is a ton of work.
It is. We got that finished set up. It looked awesome. Dave was getting pretty well set up. And then Big Ryan from Nebraska came up and was helping with the. Oh, there we go. Big Ryan from Nebraska, another supporting member. Didn't mention him in the.
Yes.
He judged all weekend and was around all at everything too. So there's another supporting member that I forgot to mention already.
Also has a TRX that he let me launch a couple times, so that was pretty cool too.
Yes. He also got the most foul smelling beer I've ever smelled in my life.
Yeah, you were saying that in the Discord. I didn't hear about that at all.
Oh, it was like, I'm pretty sure like a mouse died in the keg or something. It wasn't like, ooh, someone left this beer in the sun for a while. It smells really bad. It was like, oh, there's like a dead animal in here. Like, I mean, it was horrific. Like, he's like, oh, smell this. And it looked like a perfectly normal beer. He's like, hey, smell this beer. And I'm like, whoa, that is bad.
Weird.
I was like, you got to tell the bartender. And the bartender went and like got that beer out of the tap and smelled it and immediately closed that.
Said this one's done.
Yeah, he and like had a bad look on his face, you know. So there was something wrong with that. But that was quite. I was like, woof, and I think he took a drink of that too.
Oh, God, yeah, icky.
Yeah, but not to derail. I'm just going to continually get derailed here. Yeah, that's what the whole weekend was. Just a
constant derailment.
Side. Yeah.
So yeah, we got done setting up the booth. What did we do after that? Oh, then I think we were both thinking, is that it for the night? We both said, we don't really have plans. We'll see what happens. And we both went home. And then
you had kind of asked me, I think you really popped the idea in my head where you're like, well, are you going to do anything then? And in my mind, I'm like, no, I don't want to do anything. I'm already shot and it's Thursday. Like you can even see on the video you posted today where it's just like, I don't know what's next. Or I'm already shot. But then people were really using the Discord.
They were, which is great. Yeah. Can you imagine having this weekend and not having the Discord?
No, it worked.
It went to
that
work.
was like that was a really valuable tool. And like I joked around of calling it's like if someone needed a ride, just use Kruber. And people actually did that too. Like if you needed a ride, you just put it out in the Discord.
There was so much of that in there.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going here and here. And people, yep, I'm in, or I'll pick you up, or I'll meet you there.
But you could tell, like, as we were getting caught up on messages, that they were all a bunch of them were at Pounders.
And I didn't really see that. I just got a message from you, and it was like, I'm going to Pounders. And then then I open up the Discord, and I see, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I will be there, too. No doubt about that.
And I had, like, taken my socks and shirt off and was about ready to take a shower. And I was like, you know what? I do not, like, some of them are probably going to leave any second because it's getting late. And I'm like, I'm not even going to shower. I don't even care. I was like, why would I care? I don't care. So I'm just like, I'm going to go right away and got there. And luckily I didn't miss very many of them, I don't think. And then you showed up a little bit later. And then like other crew just kept
kept trickling
in and out.
Yeah.
And that was a fun night.
Oh,
Like,
and I wasn't
completely
expecting
unplanned.
that. I know. I wasn't sure
Right.
if people are like, oh, I can't go out multiple nights in a row. I have a meet coming up. But then thinking back, it's like, well, that was stupid. Of course, people want to go out as much as possible. They made the trip
Right.
here.
Get your money's worth. But yeah.
And so, yeah, we closed Pounders down, basically. There was like 2
Yeah.
people at the bar when we left. And
I think those living easiest on Thursday night were Matt
Chris.
and Chris.
Yeah.
Right? They were living the easiest on, I think they made the comment that they had one of every beer on the menu.
Yeah, and they closed their tab, and then they went back again and got more beer, which is really funny.
Oh, that was a fun night, though. It was just a lot of fun.
That was just sitting there chatting. That was a great time. And yeah, we got done that night, went back. Next morning was weigh-ins right away. And you got there, weigh-ins were at 8. I'm like, I'm not weighing in. I think I showed up at 8:10 thinking, well, I'll still probably, weigh-ins are 2 or 3 hours? I remember thinking 8:10, I'm probably still going to be early. And boy, I felt like I was the last person in town that was there.
Yeah. Yep. People were waiting to get in the door when I got there. So
Yeah. Which is hilarious. So yeah, there was a ton. So there was 2 weigh-ins. So, I mean, we didn't know how many people would show up at each one, but of the 60 people in the meet, what do we think? There was 40, some of them that came to the first weigh-in.
Yeah, I came into the early morning weigh-in.
So that just turned into a big morning get together because weighing in takes
was.
2 seconds and everyone just hung out for the next 3 hours just about.
Yeah. Well, and it's nice we had the booth set up because a lot of the crew wanted to get in on the new stuff early.
Yep.
Which actually, that's worth mentioning too. We have so everything, we released all this new stuff at the meet, and now it actually, as we're recording, it's tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to drop all of that new stuff, so that anything we didn't sell out of there, which some of it's kind of limited, but we are going to give everyone online a chance to get their hands on it. So the first thing is the meet tee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic tee, which we don't have a lot of. We do. It actually, sizing has worked out decent. We don't have a large volume of that left, but we do have most of the sizes available still. So you could get your hands on one of those if you act fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the only thing we're out of is extra small and small, right? I think we have a little bit of everything left. Not a ton, but there is a little bit of everything else left.
Right. So that is your chance at a piece of history right there. Same with the Silly Pint, the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic Silly Pint. We don't have a ton of those left, but there are a few left of those, so you could get your hands on one of those also.
Mm-hmm.
And the Silly Pint, even like a whole bunch of the crew that maybe haven't had one before, like when you get your hands on the Silly Pint in person, you're like, oh, that's what that is. I want that.
The number of people, even when I was at the booth, that grabbed the cup, were holding it, looking at it, and then you could tell then they squeezed it and they go, oh, like when they finally get what the texture of that thing is. And that's what the Silly Pint's all about.
The Silly Pint. We've got the Fanny Pack, which was a brand new, never before seen, which we still have available and will be for sale online for the first time tomorrow. The Fanny Pack. A lot of people used the Fanny Pack this weekend. I saw a lot of Fanny Packs around.
My wife was rocking it all weekend. She loved it.
Okay. What else do we have?
We have the jorts.
Yep, the denim jorts are restocked.
Yep, denim jorts are restocked. Yes, finally. And then the camo jorts.
And denim is up to 4X. We still, as of right now, have 3. We've never before had 3X and 4X. We right now have 3X and 4X available. And we had some big boys who were rocking the 4X. So, I mean, if you're going to have to be pretty damn big to not be able to wear the 4X.
He's not just saying that. You really do got to be really big. Like maybe bigger than anyone we've ever met in our lives.
Right. And I guess point being there that we cover a lot of range now on those denim jorts. And then you were talking about the camo jorts.
Yes, so that's the new one. We took the denim jorts that you know and love, and we put camo on them. And those are finally ready to go too. I wore mine to dinner the other night with the Strength Co. I got to meet up with Grant and Dee, and I wore mine to dinner, and I felt like a class act in those things.
I love the camo jorts.
I do too.
I might even like them better than the denim ones.
I wasn't going to say it.
Preference.
I wasn't going to pick favorites, but if you really made me, I might actually pick the camo over the regular denim.
I also always like everything that's new, so that's probably maybe what I'm
It's the
leaning towards,
that's the
but,
shiny new thing.
the camo ones, just for reference, if you have the other ones, the camo ones maybe are just like slightly snugger than they're still just as stretchy, but they're like just slightly.
I think if you were before, if you were buying the jorts, the regular jorts, and you thought maybe I'm between sizes, then for sure in the camo ones you're going to be between sizes. Like go with the size bigger if you're in doubt.
Right.
On camo.
In the camo ones, yeah. And then we also have some of the meat posters available. Actually, we're selling those for like $5. You could order one of those, or while supplies last. We don't have that many of them, but while supplies last, if you order over $75, in this, when we release this drop, we're going to include one of those for free with your order. And also, here's the deal. If you order any of like the meat stuff, like the meat tea or the silly pint or anything, also we got a few extra programs.
Oh, there's a few
the programs
left,
were
huh?
awesome. Yeah, the programs were awesome. We'll include a commemorative program along in there too if you order like something with this logo on it.
There you go.
So yeah, you can get the poster, and there's one other thing, right?
Collars.
The collars. Yeah, the red Massenomics Strength Co. collar collab. Not a lot of those left either. Those are pretty popular at the meet, but we do have some. I would not wait. If you want one of those, there's a good chance those don't ever come back. So this is I would call those limited edition, or whatever you want to say about it. Like, this is your chance to get those. There's not a lot of pairs left.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with those, you'll just have to take the pictures. Take a look at the pictures.
Yeah,
they clamp on a little different than your standard.
Yeah,
your standard.
That's what
collar,
everyone
but
was
they
using
are
in the warm up room at the meet.
Yeah, they do look really cool though. They
really
good.
pop.
Yep. Is that everything then in the drop?
That's the drop.
Okay,
I sidetracked to the drop.
Yeah, so that was all for sale at the booth, and we did sell a lot of all that stuff, but we had a feeling we would, so we did order quite a bit. So luckily, there's a little extra for the people that weren't there. They can hopefully get in on some of the action here. And then, that was
Friday after morning weigh-ins. What did we?
Yeah,
then
what
it
did
was
we do?
Afternoon weigh-ins.
Yeah, what did we do? I don't think I did. I'm trying to think of what I did during the day on Friday, and I couldn't even tell you now. Do you remember?
I guess I came back for a while, and we were getting set up. I was getting set up for the Friday night party.
Oh yeah, yes.
house.
I think I went home for a little bit too, and then because then we came back for afternoon weigh-ins.
Yep.
Then came back for afternoon weigh-ins. It was a much slower day it was a much slower session in the morning since 2/3 of the people had already weighed in. Hung out in the afternoon a little bit, and then after that, it was getting ready for party time because the backyard meat party of the century was happening at your house.
Yeah. So I got home, and by the time I got home I had time to shower. I got home and took a shower, and then I got out of the shower and dressed, and people were showing up for the party. So it was party time.
By the time we showed up, I don't know. We said the party started at 7:30, I think. I want to say we probably showed up like 7:45-ish, and the cars were lined up and down the street
for an hour. Well over an hour since then. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I parked in the driveway because I knew no one else would, which made life.
Oh,
easy
nobody parked in the driveway.
No one was parked in the driveway, and I'm just thinking, no one.
Can't
thinks
believe
it's
nobody
safe.
did.
No, there was not a single vehicle there, and we parked up there. But I was surprised when I got in the backyard. There was probably over 50 people there when I showed up, and I was not that late.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there. That's the most people I've ever had in my yard. That's for sure.
Yeah. And everyone was there. Everyone made it, got to meet up catch up with everyone, talk about all types of stuff. We had beers, we had sparkling waters, we had snacks, we had pizza, we had wings, we had everything. No one was expecting food. You didn't tell anyone there was going to be food.
No.
And so you definitely surprised everyone by having
and it's funny, people hadn't planned on food, I don't think. We had like 10 pizzas, 5 pounds of wings, and many pounds of pulled pork, and it was all gone. And like several pans of like big scotcheroo pans, and like all this stuff.
People had apparently eaten before they showed up.
Oh, and there was calzones and all this stuff, and like it was all gone.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So-
food was good though. That was awesome.
It was good. I think the Friday night party was really good. I maybe underestimated how much fun that would be. And like, that's a part of making this, this weekend wasn't just a meet. It was a lot of stuff around the meet too. And that's one of those things. The Friday night party was really fun, where it's just like everyone gets this chance to hang out before the meet even. And also, like, people are on different schedules. Some people had a little extra time to hang out prior to meet. Some people had a little extra time to hang out after meet.
Yes.
So it's really good having a Friday evening, like.
Oh, without the Friday, there's a ton of people I wouldn't have got a chance to catch up with.
Right.
Just because either we didn't cross paths as much on Saturday night or they were gone. So
Right.
I'm super glad we did the Friday thing. That was perfect.
Yeah, the Friday night was really fun. We got a couple like good group pictures. I know some people were already we missed certain people in the groups and stuff, but that was fun. Just the hanging out and I don't even know. There was just not near enough time to talk to everyone.
I mean, it's not too often. I mean, you have to maybe go back to college to where you could go to a house party and say, I know like everyone here. And
Yeah.
I mean, here you're like, okay, I'm done talking to these 5 guys. Just turn around. Oh, I know all 5 of these guys. I can talk to them. Okay. I know all 4 of these guys. I can talk. Like, there was never anywhere you could go and be like, I don't know who these people are, so I can't talk to them. And if you didn't know who they were, you just talk to them and then realize, oh, I actually do know who you are.
Yeah,
So
we're
no.
actually our buddies too, aren't
Yes.
we?
Yeah. We've actually had a lot of exchanges online and not even known it.
Yeah, right. So that was super. It didn't go that late. I think we wrapped that up by like 10. And actually, I had parked my car at my brother-in-law's, which is like 3 or 4 blocks down, or my pickup down there earlier in the day, just so like it'd be one less car on the street here for more people to park to. I think people were parked all the way down there anyways, actually, but it was like 10 o'clock and me and my daughter were walking down the street to go get it. It was dark out, but very dark out by this time, walking down the street in our socks to go get my pickup and bring it home. So it'd be there in the morning, cause it was going to be an early morning. And then, 2 carloads of people. I'm like, these people are definitely looking for like our house or something like that. And it was the spotter and loader crew. They had just gotten
they
into town.
did. Oh,
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, looks like we missed the party." I'm like, "Yeah, like we just the last of them just left." And they're like, "Well, do you think we can get in at the event center? To go check out? We just want to like scope out the area and make our plans for the next day." And I'm like, "Yeah, go in there, check it out." So they all went at like 10 or 11 at night. Went to the Odie to make their plan on the spotting and loading.
Oh, that's crazy.
Attack for the next day.
Yeah, I knew they said they got there that night, but I didn't realize that you actually saw them and they went to the venue.
Yeah, it was the Minnesota Department of Lifter Safety.
And they know their stuff. It's not just
We stood right on the street. They all got out, crawled out of their cars, and I met them all right there, right in the middle of the street.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So for that wrapped up Friday night. Saturday morning was the big meet. Got there. Meet started at 9?
And that's where part 1 of the YouTube video ends.
Yeah, and that is where part 1 of the YouTube
end
video ends. So this is now spoiler land for anyone else. That's I guess
right. So stop this, and if you want the YouTube video to be your first exposure.
Yeah, we haven't kicked people out of the Discord yet, so maybe they'll just get the full taste of things. But Saturday the meet started, and it never even crossed my mind who was going to announce it. We never really said that for sure. And Dave was just fired up and ready to go first thing in the morning, and that worked perfect.
Yeah,
that worked so good, and he
does a really good job.
You can tell, you can tell he does a lot of meets because he keeps the energy going. He knows what to say. Yeah, Dave did awesome on the. I've never heard him. I don't know. Did he? He didn't announce the meet we went to, did we?
I don't think so. No, I think he had someone else doing that.
And so I didn't even know he did that at all. And I saw him doing it. I'm like, damn, Dave, you're rocking it, man. This is great.
Yeah, and we started on time. We were scrambling a little bit to get the live stream up and going.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, I think we got it like just in time that nothing got delayed there. But so the live stream, that video, the live stream is also available on our YouTube. It'll live on our YouTube channel. You can check that out if you click on live.
Yeah, you have to click on the live tab on YouTube to see that, but it is there. One thing to note, because it was either brought up or people don't know what the deal is, but if you go and watch it, there is no sound, and you say, well, why didn't you record sound? Didn't realize this until Dave brought it up beforehand, but you can't record an event where there's music playing in the background or YouTube's going to hit you with copyright violations. So really the only way around that in in the setup we were using was just to say, okay, we just won't do sound. And so that's how, but you had the overlays for all of the open lifter data is on there. So you can see the attempts and, what people were going for, but yeah, you just don't have sound. And that is why there is because of the copyright thing.
Yeah. It would be really fun to have someone announcing, the live stream for next year if we can figure out a way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people do it, like Anthony Fortino, they it's commonly done. So it certainly can be done. That would be one thing I can think of right off the bat that we could really improve next year is making the live stream announced. So those, because there was, it was watched by over 1,000, coming and going, but there's over 1,000 people that popped on there to check it out. So maybe it would have kept eyes on longer too if there's something, even though you could see the name and then weights and everything like that, if there's just somebody saying something, that's probably keeps attention for a little bit longer.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. That would absolutely be a thing that we could do to pick up the production quality a little bit. One of the few things I should say.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, lifting started and after it kind of felt like the day was just on autopilot, a whirlwind after that. I mean, we specifically, I don't think we really had to put out any fires, did we? It was just the day they took off and it was kind of out of our hands then, wasn't it?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I was getting tools for people, getting extension cords, eventually, the food truck showed up and I'm getting them open and set up and make sure they got their outlet and stuff like that. It's just nothing, just little stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that was all pretty smooth though. Like for the most part,
right,
it was things we kind of expected. It wasn't like, oh my God, the power went down over here.
No, I was worried about that actually happening because we had so much stuff plugged in all over the place. I was like, I hope we don't blow like some main fuse breaker somewhere.
Big Ryan does have a good point. The only oopsie on the day was when deadlift started, which we're getting slightly ahead of ourselves. We realized we didn't have the deadlift jacks, but that is
someone ran and got them. And
that's
so I think maybe the women's flight, the first flight, they didn't have deadlift jacks to warm up with possibly.
Yep. And that's not as big of a, I mean, they're not working up to 600 pounds, so it's not as big of a deal either. But yeah, by the time the guys or the second flight got to deadlifts, they had their jacks. And that's one of the benefits of the gym being 5 minutes away. You can run there, grab that stuff, and no one knows. So that was a good save having that.
Yeah. I'm just thinking another thing, our wives were running the booth on meet day, so we didn't really have to, I jumped in there occasionally to help out if it was busy and stuff like that, but we weren't manning the booth, which was awesome to not have to be tied to that.
Oh yes, that made life a lot easier. And even Leah said, "This is kind of fun selling stuff." And it's like, "Oh, you think this is fun? Wait till you get to the Arnold," and then it goes from it's being fun to this is just too much.
Right. It is fun, and the booth is fun too because you get to meet all these people because they want, they're gonna come up and talk to you. So like. It's like these forced interactions almost where you get all these opportunities to meet people. But I enjoyed it because when I wasn't busy with other stuff, could just, say hi to a whole bunch of people quick and, just get a chance to thank people for coming and stuff like that. It was that part of it. Or like check in with the lifters and just see how it's going or stand in the warm up room for a little. I like hanging out by like the on deck circle too. And just slapping backs and, just yelling and watching and stuff. That's just fun. Like I've always enjoyed that. If I'm not doing a meet, or even if I am, I love being right in. That's just fun being right in on the action when other people are going. It's just, I don't know. That's about as good as it gets actually at a meet, is being right there when people are walking out because everyone's so into it in that moment.
Yeah, and people are just focused and fired up and ready to go. And then when people are hitting meets, everyone's getting jacked up then.
Yes.
So, that's all awesome. And you actually got in on some announcing.
Oh yeah, I did do some announcing. I didn't do that much in the squats. I think I maybe rounded out like the last flight of squats or something like that. And that was fun. I've never done that before. So there was a moment when I hadn't paid. I had told Dave, if he wants to break at any point in time, I'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about it. But it wasn't until you pick up the microphone and then you're like, well, wait, what do you say? Like you take it for granted what other people are doing when they do that. You're just like, oh yeah, they're doing a great job. He's just saying how much weight it is and their name and stuff. But then you're like, well, what actually are they saying and when are they saying it? And, So it took me a few times through, and then I'm like, okay, I feel like I kind of understand a flow that I can have for myself on that, at least, you know?
Yes. Oh, and then you had it down. Well, and it's the benefit of it being all Massenomics people is, you know, where people are from, you know, their nicknames or made up nicknames, and you know a little bit about their lifts. So that makes it like you have like the insider's playbook to what to say.
I do.
To a lot
like
of that.
At our meet, you know, me announcing our meet, I have something to say about every.
I mean, there's
single
already
person.
15 guys that you lift with every day, so you know their entire lifting history right there.
And then the rest of them are like supporting members, so I kind of like know. I at the very least know where they're from, or maybe know like some fact about them. You know, or like, you know, Ryan goes up and I can announce that he was in HBO's star show, hit show, Righteous Gemstones, and the crowd likes, it's just fun
you can
stuff.
announce that Lou's a chiropractor or Jake's a doctor or or just all that stuff, and people like it because you're adding some commentary, but also it is stuff like you wouldn't know this if you were any other announcer.
When our crowd in Aberdeen, I could tell they were excited just like announcing whenever someone was from a long ways away, I tried to throw that in on occasion just because that is interesting, and there's always like this, came from New Jersey, huh? It's just like you could kind of hear that reaction sometimes from people. My favorite, though, was probably I started calling Bryce Woolman the Beast from the Southeast.
That is the best.
That was my favorite thing that came from
I
the
love
announcing.
that. I can't ever not think of that now. That's just in my head. He's the Beast from the Southeast. I love it.
And the first time he did it, it was right before. It must have been right before his like third attempt squat. He's going for like a 700-pound squat, and he's like right next on deck, and he's looking right at me while I do it, and I call him, and he's like laugh, he's like,
and I remember because you said that, and I'm just thinking, I go, oh, Tanner, do you think he heard that? Because I bet he'd think it's really funny. And you go, yeah, he looked at me, I know he heard it. And then I saw him afterwards, like, oh, did you hear what Tanner called you? He goes, yeah, I was walking out, it was hard not to laugh.
Oh, that was my favorite. And then so I reserved that for every one of his heavy attempts, is make sure to call him the Beast from the Southeast. And it was fun. Your brother Ryan, he attempted a 666 deadlift, so I got to say the mark of the beast.
Yep, that was good too.
Gino's thing.
Yeah. No, I think you rocked it for having your first meet announcing. This was like the perfect thing to ease into announcing, wasn't it?
It would be. I don't know that I even want. I mean, I could give it a shot. So this was fun, I guess. Like, I don't know if no other one would ever be this fun, because it's just like, well, all of a sudden I have to look at something, like know where someone's from.
Yeah, can you imagine having to do that for a whole list of like 50 lifters that you have no idea who they are? That would actually get kind of old, but
right. No, this was just so much fun. Although my one, the thing that was getting me is my voice was just starting to go and go and go throughout the weekend. It's not even fully recovered now on like Wednesday.
It is better than it was Sunday night when I heard you.
My voice can't handle these like 4-day hangouts.
Well, and it's not just it's 4 days of hanging out. It's 4 days of basically being in environments where you yell the entire time
and constantly talking, because there's all of these people you want to talk to.
Well, and you're in a bar setting or a party setting, or I don't know, you're at the meet where there's music.
On a microphone.
You're just always yelling. You're never talking. You're yelling the entire time.
And I remember Gino, when we had him on the podcast, he said, you use the microphone to your advantage, and I'm like, I couldn't have had it any closer to my mouth. Like, that's what I was eating the microphone trying to get it to pick up my voice.
But yeah, he did talk about that too. It's like conserving your voice a little bit, which before I remember thinking like, really? And now I totally get that after doing the Arnold a few times and maybe
that is the flow of the meet too. We talked about that with him. Benches just slightly, it toned down, by the third attempt end of squats, things get pretty lit at a meet, and then bench it really
tones down.
Comes down a notch.
The occasional third attempt that gets people going, but it is.
That's what I was gonna say. Even like I particularly pick up on it when I was doing the announcing, is like when third attempts come, that's when it's exciting. Like, really, the first attempt it's really just it's still another warm up almost. Like, people are coming out. It's just you can't be yelling about every single attempt that someone comes up. You're like, oh, get real excited for this guy's first attempt. He's going to do 150 pounds more than this in a couple minutes. Like, it just
60 lifters, 9 attempts, total. Yeah. Let's get people fired up for 500 plus attempts all day long. That's just not how it works.
So you got to pick and choose some spots there. But bench in particular, just we've talked about it, but like the lack of visibility on the bench, the lower weights, the fact that the person's laying down and not facing the crowd, all of that stuff just makes it a little less interesting, I think. Honestly, it's perfect. That's during the middle of the day. People can like eat lunch while they're watching that, and
luckily for us, the food truck showed up about 11. I think the beer stand opened about 11, so people had their concessions and drinks waiting for them, ready to go.
And there was people getting food from the food truck and beer from the beer vendor all day, the whole rest of the day. And the meat kept rolling so fast, largely in part to Dave and what he's doing, of course, but then also the spotter and loader crew. And I don't know if we specifically highlighted on the podcast, but they are so good.
The number of, the most compliments I heard the entire weekend was for them. Like people were just even people that had no idea what was going on knew that they were on top of it.
That's my mom and my aunt, not power lifters, obviously, just like a bunch of people that have never been to a powerlifting meet before, and just like, and wow, those people that are like changing out the weights and doing that stuff, they are just crazy impressive. And it is a sight to be seen. Honestly.
They are. They're just a machine that it's all working. They're all on the same page. They're just cranking stuff out all day long.
I think that they cut like 2 hours off of the meet time.
I don't think that's a crazy statement at all. I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got done. Lifting was totally done at what, like 5:10, 5:15?
Oh, 3:30, I think.
Oh shit! Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking actually of I think we were out of there by 5:30, weren't we?
Yeah.
3:30. For 60 lifters going all day.
Yeah, 4:15ish.
We talked about the very first meet we ever did. I don't think we left the gym until 9:30 at night, right?
And do you think there was any more than 60 lifters?
Oh my God!
In that meet?
No, I mean you could pull up an open powerlifting. If you told me to guess, I'd say there was like 45 lifters.
Yeah, we were there till like, you're not even joking.
No, I remember thinking like, oh my God, I didn't realize what went into a powerlifting meet. We were in there
for like 12 hours that time, weren't we?
Yeah, I'm looking. Oh, it was 53 lifters.
But less than this.
Yeah, less than this.
That we just
I mean, we were there till it was like we're not exaggerating.
It might have been
there
like 10
until at least 9 p.m. Like 9 p.m. would be the very earliest that we were done by. But I do think it was more than that even.
Yeah. After bench, of course, deadlifts rolled around, and deadlifts are the funnest part of whether deadlift is your least favorite event or your most favorite event. Like from a spectating standpoint, it's just there's nothing in the way. There's no equipment there to get in the way. It's just a person standing there picking something off the floor. Like everyone gets it.
The spotters are kind of out of there. Yeah, it's very obvious if you get the lift or not. There's not room for interpretation like the other lifts.
And boy, do you get to see some deadlift battles too. There was so many people where they just have these
grinding them out. I know. Yeah, those were crazy. Yeah. I mean, you expect to see a couple of those, but yeah, the number of people that I'm just thinking about, I can't hang on to a deadlift like that and just keep fighting and grinding, and people did it.
Yeah, it's different at a meet too. Like people do just have a sixth gear at a meet that you can't normally go to, or you won't normally go to. Where you're just like, nope, I am going to continue to do this. Like it will have to be ripped out of my hands to not get this. And saw that like 7 times.
Yeah,
where people just like push to the red line, which is fun to watch. Jake like passed out after his last deadlift. And Jonathan hit the dirt on his last deadlift.
He did.
There was some cool moments there. Definitely some cool ones. The crowd was good too.
Oh yeah. And that was another. I mean, we had our numbers. Like, I don't know if we had an official final count, but I think we estimated over 250 people by the time
I think there's probably more like 300 spectators, something like that. We're in a very big place, so it didn't look like it was crowded.
We had full floor seating, and then we had 10, 15 rows of bleachers for people too, so they could spread out a little bit. And then on top of that, the number of people that always just want to stand anyways, You know, so
Right.
people
Yeah,
were
there was a
surrounding.
lot of people that just stood all weekend down on the
Yeah, there's not a lot of sporting events you go to and you can just stand kind of anywhere you want.
Right.
But yeah, people were spread out. People were spread out everywhere. And there's not a lot of powerlifting meets you can go to where you can say there was 300 people in attendance at at all, you know?
Yeah, and that's 300 people in attendance. That does, that's not talking about the 100 other people that were there. So at times,
Well, the 100 other people between competitors, sponsors, people with booths, judges, all that stuff. I mean, it's another 100 people easy.
yeah. So booth wise, of course, we had ours, and the Strength Co was set up there next to us. They were there's a lot of their red Lift Hard, Live Easy hats for sale, and I think I do know that they still have some of those left. So if you want to get one of those, check out their site to get one of those. There was a lot of those hats walking around in that building on that day, though.
There was a lot,
and
of
then
those even at the zoo that night, there was a lot of those hats too.
Yes. Bearfoot Shoes was set up there. Then Big Mo had his beef jerky that he was slinging for Beef Logic, of course. And then Big Nathan and Big Abby,
Build Fast
Formula was set up there on the other side of the other side of the arena. So we kind of had the booth sponsors like wrapping the ends of the crowd almost. I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of shielding off the unused space of the arena.
Yep. Maybe we should read some ads before we get too far, Tanner.
Oh yeah. I guess you're probably right. Well, let me tell you about the Strength Co. The Strength Co, as seen this weekend at the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic. Head over to their site. Our warm-up room was plumb full of Strength Co go-to plates. The number of times I heard people comment between being in the warm-up room and loading these plates up and everything about how smooth yet easy to grip that these plates were, I couldn't hear that joke enough this weekend, to tell you the truth. All the made in America, smooth yet easy to grip. It's funny, at one point in time, I'm in the back of my pickup. This is right when the meet ends, and there's an assembly line of people, and Grant is one of the people handing me his go-to plates, and he's like, "Oh, did you ever notice how smooth but yet easy to grip these are?" And I'm like, sweats just roaring off of me, and like working the hardest I've worked all day, but I still had time to laugh at the humor of that moment. Even then was not lost at me that Grant, the maker of these plates, is in Aberdeen at our meet, handing me over the bed of my pickup his plate to take back to my gym. Yeah, and I'm like, yep, these are smooth yet easy to grip, aren't they? So yeah, check out their plates. I do believe that they're the best plates, and that's not just a sales pitch. That's not just a clever sales pitch. They are the best plates. If you're looking to outfit a gym, your home gym, anything like that, I would recommend to anyone to buy these plates. Everyone that checked out Massenomics Gym this weekend, there's a wow factor when you see our red racks and they're just lined with these black Strength Co plates. There's nothing that looks better than that in a gym, I don't think. So check those out. Check out their Lift Hard, Live Easy hats. They've still got some of those left. And then check out the Strength Co Massenomics collar collab that we've got on our site. Thank you, the Strength Co. Thanks for coming to the meet. It was a very fun weekend with Grant and Big D, obviously, too.
I'm so glad they made the trip. Glad.
We got to, and Connor and Ron. You know, honestly, I got to hang out with Connor a lot, too. We all four of us lifted together on Monday morning after the meet, and that alone was a lot of fun. Also, check out the Strength Co. Make sure you're subscribed to their YouTube channel. They've had already put out at least one video from this weekend, and there's more to come. They got to do some Atlas stone training at the gym. And Scance was giving everyone pointers. I think Megan was there giving them pointers. It's a lot of fun. And then the next morning, we did this deadlift workout. There'll be video of all that stuff out there. So make sure you're subscribed to their YouTube channel too.
And today's episode is also brought to you by Bearfoot Shoes, who was also at the meet, slinging gear. Most shoes harm your mobility by over-restricting your foot's natural movement, but Bearfoot Shoes are designed with minimal restrictions so your feet can move the way they're supposed to. Move with more strength and confidence in every step. Bearfoot Shoes was founded by Chris Duffin, who attributes proper foot biomechanics as foundational to his success in squatting and deadlifting over 1,000 pounds for reps. He helped create the company to provide a minimalist shoe that can be worn for anything from deadlifts to walking your dog. Go to www.bearfoot.shoes to check out the best minimalist shoes available. And while you're there, make sure to use code Massenomics for a little something special on your next order. That's code Massenomics at barefoot.shoes.
So we kind of did, there was something special going at the meet with Bearfoot Shoes. I don't know if we're fully letting the cat out of the bag to everyone formally yet, but we did get to show something off for the first time there that was very cool. And I would just say stay tuned from us. Maybe more on that even when we record next week. We'll officially...
we'll have details in the next week or two on that. But we do got some very exciting things coming up with Bearfoot. So you're not going to want to miss out on that.
It's going to be great. Was there anything else about the meet specifically?
I mean, we could honestly talk about it forever.
A lot of good performances.
A lot of strong performances. I mean, it was so awesome. Like
a lot of people working hard.
Yes. Look for the YouTube video. I was running around all day shooting probably way more footage than I should have, but I'll have lots of, if you want to see performances, like Tanner was saying, go to YouTube and click that live tab and you can see the full 6 hours of the meet played back. But
and the results are in open powerlifting.
Yes. And the results are in open powerlifting. But if you want more of just the running around, seeing guys having a good time, guys and gals, I should say, then check out the YouTube video. That'll be out. Well, this will come out on Monday. The YouTube video will be out later in the week. That'll round out the rest of the meet.
And then like the second the meet was done, like in true fashion of the way everything ran and went, it was like time for awards. Like, part of that thing you talked about, like our first meet we did back in like 2015, I swear we waited for like an hour.
I think they had to calculate them, by hand for an hour. Yeah. Or open powerlifting
busted out the abacus to figure out who gets what awards.
Yes,
and
open powerlifting now,
half of them were wrong. Like I remember that still. Like everyone was like, "Oh, that's not right. I wasn't in that class." And
No, now
like, I'm pretty sure I was supposed to.
I think you just hit the done button in open powerlifting, and they go, "Here's the list." Like there's nothing to really even figure out.
Like I was trying to load up the equipment. I was like, I figured I had 10 minutes to get that done quick. And I was like, oh, no, we need to hand out the awards. So I really enjoyed, we got to hand out all the awards.
Yeah, it was so fun, which essentially meant we handed out something to everyone in the meet.
Not everyone got to win an award, unfortunately, because there was some classes.
Some of the weight classes were much more populated.
Deep. Yeah, but a lot of people got to win, and a lot of people, there were so many awards at our powerlifting meet. It was insanity. But even though everything felt so fun, even the award ceremony, I've said this many times about it, but I'm so biased on all of it. Like, take anything I say with a grain of salt, but everything I think was so fun. And like even the award ceremony, I'm like, I don't know, this is all just fun. People are doing wacky stuff.
Oh, every person that would come up that we knew had something dumb they were doing or some act they were putting on.
And we had Big Emmett wanted to do the prom picture, Big Lou takes a fireball shot.
Scance is pretending he's really old running up to the platform.
And if it wasn't that, we made sure to have a one-liner in our back pocket for every person too,
and that was the other thing of Nick took photos and video for people that signed up for those packages. And Nick does great work, and he took photos of all of us with all the people for the awards, which was also awesome. We have all of those now. There's just so many things like that worked out great.
And I enjoyed, we got to give our away, we had all the traditional awards. We had the best lifter awards, which, David got these awesome championship belts made. So Jonathan won male, Megan won female. And then, they got to wear their belts out at the after party and everything like that. So that was really cool. But I really enjoyed getting to give away our 5 special Massenomics silly awards.
Wooden plate awards.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And you probably could have, one of those things, you could have made cases for some other people being worthy of winning.
We debated it for a while while the meet was going on. We had our front runners and we're like, okay, we'll see what happens if anything changes. And for a few of them, some things did change at the end. But we took that seriously.
Audibles.
Yeah, we didn't just have someone in mind. We watched what was going on.
We actually did not have, we never said who we think should win any of these awards. It wasn't until like the meet was like 2/3 over that we discussed it for the first time.
Yep. I think
ever.
bench was about done, and we had consensus.
We were like, we better
on
talk about this a little bit in
nominations.
case we don't get a chance again. Which is good. We did. We would have ran out of time, and on the spot that would have been very hard to.
It would have. Yes. I'm glad we did that. And just how funny it was for the awards. So there was medals, which the medals looked amazing. And
Very cool, yeah.
so there was a lot of medals given out. There was our special wooden plate awards that were given out. There was belts, like wrestling belts, that were given out to best lifters. There was also banners that were given out, which you have one behind you.
Yeah, attention, mostly squat videos, Matt. I think I had my eye on this banner. I was like, I would really like to be the best male submasters lifter because that is also my class. And it's going to cost him quite a pretty penny to get this back. He's the rightful owner of this, but he couldn't take it with him on the plane. So I think I'm going to be the Obama medaling himself now, and I'm now officially the best submasters lifter from the meet.
It's good. It's going to cost a pretty penny to get that thing shipped.
Yes. Luckily, he like a lot of the crew gives us pretty pennies. So maybe he will get it back.
So we got done with all the awards, and I cannot believe how fast Teardown went. I mean, we had that place.
Yeah.
You had a ton of people to help. Well, first of all, it makes the day so much easier when you can drive trucks right to the weights. So it turns into 10 steps.
Yeah.
The amount of time you spend at the Arnold just walking
right
back and forth is insane. So to just drive it right there, load the stuff, like you were like trailers loaded, and I'm thinking awards got done. I think actually 5 minutes ago, you had the trailer loaded so fast.
Yeah.
And so you said, just do what you can to get the booth packed up. And I'm just trying to think. It was me, Mary, Leah, Amy, your mom, your aunt, right? Is that?
Yeah.
There was like 2 or 3 other people. Like we had like nine people that were, and they were not there to chat. They all wanted to go too. So they were just getting that booth whipped out. I mean, there was nothing left of it. At the Arnold, that is just a huge project to get that thing put away. And we had that thing tore apart so fast. When you showed back up, it was done. Everything was packed up, which I didn't think that was going to happen. And so, you pulled right back in. We loaded everything up again. And at that point, we just kind of tidied up a few things, and we were done in the place. Like, I could not believe how fast that went.
Yeah, we were out of there, I think, by 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
The place was empty.
Yes, clean.
And Dave getting loaded, his stuff all loaded up at the same point. Dave, his wife, Ryan, all the people that were, the refs and judges that were all helping him, they were all getting loaded up. So we were kind of all done like at the same time.
Yeah. And I mean, before the meet, we were fully prepared to go back on Sunday and do some cleaning and putting away and all that. And that was not necessary at all, which made life so much better.
It's really funny. If you would have been a spectator that would have just been in there watching deadlifts at 3 p.m., say you would have fell asleep and woke up at 5:30 p.m. and been like, what happened?
It was an empty ice rink again. There was just the little holders for the chairs, and that was all that was left in there. That was it.
You would have been like, oh my God, how did this happen? Like, what went on here?
It was exactly how we found it. So other things I forgot to mention from the meet, just random thoughts quick. The spotters and loaders all had the same uniform on, which was the jorts with the competition tee, jorts. And that looked amazing. That looked so good.
That was clutch.
I loved that they had that.
That was clutch for sure. That was a key. That was and also like what did seem like a uniform then.
Mm-hmm. It looked very intentional because it was.
You knew they were the spotters and loaders. I mean, not that there wasn't other people wearing that same thing, but it was just very obvious who they were then.
Yeah. God, I'm trying to think if there's anything else from the meet. I know we could think of things forever, but I think we hit all the high points that were worth discussing there.
As far as the meet, we've talked about what are because like we want to be critical of ourselves, because if this happens again, we want it to be
better,
improved and better. And, the number one thing, obviously we were in a building that was not AC'd, and it was hot in there, and we had been aware that that was going to be a thing. So we had like several big fans going to try and do what we could about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like we were having the door open early in the day and in the evening and stuff when we could to try and cool it up, like keep it as cool as possible. But by the time the end of the day came around, it was not cool in there.
No, it was good. Like up until noon, it was pretty good until noon.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely got warmer. Like right away in the morning, it was fine. No big deal. Yeah, by noon it was starting to get warm because you had to shut the garage door because it was getting hot outside. And so then that last couple hours, it was getting pretty toasty. Luckily, we did have those big fans. If you were near a fan and the air was moving, because that's the other thing that's crazy. That building doesn't have any type of fans or anything in it, which seems insane that they don't have that at all. But if you were where there was air movement, it was pretty tolerable. It really wasn't bad. It was just if you were in a dead zone where you didn't have a fan on you and you were running around doing stuff, then it got pretty warm. But like we were talking to, our buddy Chris, he was in the stands watching, and he goes, honestly, I was just sitting there doing nothing. I didn't even really think about it until someone came over and said how hot they were. And then I realized, oh yeah, I guess it is warm. But he goes, when you're sitting there doing nothing, it's not too bad.
Right. That's for like us, when you're constantly like,
running back and forth, chasing after things. Yeah. Seeing
if you're like running
doing.
a booth and you're like,
you're announcing, so you're walking all over, and I'm
right.
getting camera shots, so I'm bending over and crawling on the floor and running to the other side, and
that shit's hot. Or if you're lifting, that's hot.
Yeah, so that would have been that. Honestly, that was the biggest thing that we knew we could have improved on the entire day. Was just finding looking into what more options exist for.
Right, like that's the number one. Like if anyone had a critique, that's usually the thing that they said. Also if we could add audio or sound announcing on the live stream, that would have been nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd honestly be curious to hear what other people's what could have been better. Like the meat, I believe, ran so smoothly.
I think you'd have to try hard to come up with something. I mean, there's probably other things, but you're probably really searching. You're nitpicking at that point if you're finding something that needs to be improved.
That's the meat ran really well, and I think it was just a lot of fun too. I think lifters had a lot of fun at that meet.
So we shut it down, and we told everyone the official after party starts at the Zoo Bar at, what did we say, 7:30?
7:30, 7:30 or 8. Yeah.
I don't think I got there until, it was probably 8:45, I think, when I finally got there. And it was great. I mean, you forget that no one goes to the zoo. It's the bar that no one goes to until 11 o'clock at night. So
which works perfect for us.
When we got there at 8:45, I counted. There was only one table in the entire bar that I did not know. I knew every single person in that bar besides that, which was great. Just everywhere you walk to, I know you. And we're at the bar. We're having a great time. It was so much fun.
I think I got there just right after like 7:45, and there was already probably like 75 Massenomics. I bet everyone must have got there by like 6:30 because there was already, I wasn't one of the early ones.
I think there was over 100 people there that were associated with the meet, wasn't there?
Oh, I think easily, yeah. I think
by the time you consider, judges, refs, spotters, loaders, competitors, all their plus ones. Everyone that's sort of Massenomics adjacent. I mean,
I bet there was over 100, or there was 100. I think that's a fair estimate. And it was fun. All the TVs in there had like the Massenomics Lift Hard, Live Easy logo on it, and the owners were there and stuff. That was really cool. I don't know.
And everyone was really cool. It's after you have a meet. Like there's very few times where you're in as good of a mood as you are after you get done with a meet. Even if it doesn't go the way you expect, you're still just
it's still
have
just like
that feeling
of
accomplishment. You did something. And God, everyone was in the best mood. Everyone was being so goofy. It was so much fun. I could have stayed there all night, and I almost did stay there all night. I think I stayed till 12:45, 12:50-ish. And then my wife was like, maybe we should go now. And I also did realize at that point I had said goodbye to a lot of people. And the bar had really at that point taken the shift from Massenomics people to locals and people I don't know. So our numbers had gotten significantly smaller at that point too.
Yeah, there was a shift. Like around midnight, someone pointed over to me and there was just a flood of people in there, just flooding it, not our people. And I made it past you, you did past when you left at the bar.
I think you beat me by a few minutes.
Yeah. And then, what happened to me is the same feeling. I mean, I haven't had this in a long time, but when I'm out at a bar, I start to feel like there's just way more people that I don't know than I do, and I just like I get stuck around some people I don't know. I get like anxiety, and I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to be here. Like I just like I don't like this. I don't like all these people I don't know, and I want out of here. But for like the first 4 hours, that was like I can't imagine anything more fun than that.
Oh.
Like having a bar with you and 100 people that all just finished a powerlifting meet together,
Mm-hmm.
and like all these people one way or another, like that was so fun. It couldn't have. There's just not enough there's not enough time to really appreciate it all. Even
Yeah. Maybe the biggest bummer, I see Chris just mentioned this in the Discord, was that the number of people that were flying out Sunday morning at 6 a.m, which means you need to get up about 4 a.m.
Yeah.
There was a lot. So a lot of people did have to bail out somewhat early. And I do not blame them one bit.
Oh, no.
But in a
but
perfect
they still
world,
got a few hours in
oh,
there.
they
of
did.
the
They did.
after party,
Yes.
and
Yes. In a perfect world, those flights would all be Sunday night, Monday morning, and you'd be like, we're partying the night away. And everyone's just there having a great time. And that's just me being selfish and wanting people to stick around.
right. And some people just by nature they're not going to stay out till 2
Yeah.
anyways, like but some people did.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the people I was I was with like I think towards the end of the night I was with like Paul Foss and Bryce Woolman and Justin Lindner, and I know Scance was there late, and Big Murph was living easy on Saturday night at the zoo too. There was definitely a good crowd of people that lived easy pretty late into that night. I know Mason and a bunch of people stuck around pretty late.
Mm-hmm. Grant and Dee and Connor and Ron, we were back. We were back with all the Strength Co people out on the patio for so long with them.
Yeah.
And it was late. And like I think the last people I talked to before I left was Paul, Bryce, and his dad. I think we were all
Bryce's dad was living easy.
Oh God, he totally was living easy. Yes. Every time I saw him, he was getting beers for all these people. And Leah had to laugh because her and Bryce do work at the same place. So now they always joke.
Fun.
Now they always joke that they're coworkers that get lunch together all the time.
They've never seen each other at work before.
No, never.
No. I thought that was the joke, but just that was funny. And everyone was like wearing their medals all night and at the bar. And,
Jonathan and Lou had their Speedos on.
Yeah. Did they have their Speedos on in the zoo?
They did for a while, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lou was living easy. Yeah.
Totally looked like they did not have pants on.
I didn't make it out to the patio for the first time until probably almost midnight.
That was about how I was too. It was probably 11:30. But
like all the spotters and loaders were out partying.
Yes, yep, they were.
Did you
all
see
out.
the pictures of the spotters and loaders with the drink spotter sign throughout the weekend where they're all like?
Did you give them that sign or did they have it already?
They won that in a contest.
Oh, they did. I'm glad they brought that with them. I'm glad they brought the props.
And they were staying in an Airbnb like above the circus. Do you know that where they were staying?
Above Revive there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they showed us the pictures and it was insane what that looked like. I don't get what that actually was. There was like a giant group shower.
Right. That used to be an apartment up there, right?
I would assume.
Yeah.
That is a handy spot though.
That is a good spot.
If you're of that age where you're coming to town to party, there's not a much better spot to stay than Main Street.
No, that's awesome. That Big Derek from riding the Triumph, he was there pretty late, I think too.
Oh yes,
right there.
Chris of Judd Hoos.
Oh
a lot of chats with him at the bar about the glory days.
His old Judd Hoos glory days at the zoo. Yeah, that was fun. Boy, that was fun.
The professor and Mr. Stone
Professor Sean
both had long extended appearances there.
I wonder if in the vlog, I hope to see it in.
We've got
the band back together.
I haven't looked at the footage yet, but I specifically remember having a clip of all of us together and being like, "Oh, people will think this is hilarious."
Yeah. The original Four Horsemen, we all got back together. Yeah, Tyler's buddy, supporting member. Oh, here's another supporting member I haven't mentioned yet. Big John.
Yes, Big John. Yep.
He made the trip. I can't remember what state he lives in, but somewhere
Virginia or
something like that.
Yeah, it's
so I didn't. There's another supporting member that that made the trip that I didn't think. And then Big Andy the Conspiracy Randy podcast. There was also the Conspiracy Randy podcast reunion there that night with Tyler and Andy. I was having so much fun. Like I was just loving hanging out with everyone there. It was just so much fun. I can't. And then like our wives, my wife, even
how many times have you been to a bar in your life where everyone at the bar?
My mom was at the zoo until like
your mom and your aunt were both there, right?
Yeah. My mom and my aunt both were at the zoo pretty late, and it was a lot of fun. Like they were getting to talk to Big Eddie and all kinds of people. So that was
when I walked in, Scance is talking, and I'm like, Scance, what's up? And your mom's back was to me, and he's like, "Not now, Tommy. I'm talking to Tanner's mom," and winked at me. I'm just laughing,
which is so funny because Scance, the joke is like he's gonna get your mom. It's so fun.
It's good. Yeah. Yeah, but how many times in your life do you go to a location where you're drinking and you think, I'm nothing but excited to talk to every person here? There's not like a group,
almost
a table,
never.
an individual I need to avoid.
Occasions.
Yeah, I'm just excited for every single person here.
It's hard to even know where to divide your time though, because you can just like walk, take 3 more steps, and be like, "Oh, I want to talk to you now."
Dude, sometimes you'd be talking to a group of people, and someone else pops in, and they start telling a story, and then the groups just start changing and morphing while you're going. Yeah, Oh, it was so fun.
Yeah, we got some cool presents and stuff from crew. Like Big Derek gave us some stuff. We won't spill all the beans on that, but we got some really cool giveaway stuff that he made for us to give away, and that'll come up later. There could have been prizes for the meet, but we just thought there were so many prizes already. We're going to save that for later. He also gave us a couple of books for our books and books and sports segment. So we'll have to read those books eventually. My book reading has gone out damn near out the window with this meet because I just like everything is getting ready for this.
Life has been very well. I left Sioux Falls Wednesday, and Sunday we were just a mix of hungover, doing other stuff. It was 6:00 at night, and I thought we were going to go back, and my wife was just like, "Really, you think we're going to go back? We haven't even packed all of our shit up yet." And so we decided to stay another night. So I left Sioux Falls Wednesday. I was gone Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. I was gone for 5 days for this meet.
Yeah.
And that's almost like the Arnold right there.
It is. I mean, it is. This is way more than the Arnold for us. Like, this is way bigger. I mean, we're running the show, so it's going to be like that. There's even little things like Friday during the day at Massenomics Gym. I went in there at one point. There was like 35 people in there.
I forgot about
party
that.
And like people had cracked out the brewskis at Massenomics Gym in the afternoon. That's where I was in between weigh-ins kind of for a while too. It's like everyone was there. It was just like a party inside the gym. And then Sunday morning, same way. When I showed up Sunday morning, there was probably like 25 people inside the gym, like training and
that happened to you. That happened to you on Monday again with Grant. You know?
And then Monday, me and the Strength Co crew went and got a lift in.
And I remember seeing that. I had to run into town to grab something, and I saw the video of all you guys at the gym, and this was a while later. So I thought I'll just drive by, see if there's any cars there. While I'm driving by, the door swings open and about 20 people pile out. So I pulled over, talked to them for a while. But it was just anywhere you went in town, it felt like you were running into Massenomics people.
I have never seen that many, even close to that many people inside Massenomics Gym before. It was wild how many people were in there. It was really cool. And yeah, talking about seeing crew around town, the number of like locals I've had tell me over the last couple of days, like, yeah, I was at 322 or Pounders or Target, and somebody walked in, and I'm like, oh,
Massenomics,
what is this group of people? Yeah, right. There's just all these. It's weird. It actually, like, people joked about this, but this weekend, no doubt, had like some sort of impact on the local economy here.
Yeah.
It actually did.
Oh, the restaurants for sure. A few restaurants got hit hard by all of us.
And hotels too,
yeah.
And
it was
a crazy game of poker.
It was. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I got to extend my fun by almost one more night, because you had the Strength Co in the morning on Monday. We went to Sioux Falls Monday night, and Grant and Dee dropped Connor off at the airport, but they didn't fly out till the next day. So Leah and I and Dee and Grant all got to go hit up dinner that night. And I thought we met him it was like 7:00. And then we're thinking like, oh, we'll get dinner, have like a drink and go home. I think by the time we finally shut it down, it was 11:30, 11:45. So I did not plan on talking to them for almost another 5 hours, but we're having so much fun. It just felt like we didn't want the weekend to end, you know?
That's when, like, with all the people that were here and the time they took and to get here, it's just like, I just want to soak every bit of everything in from this. Like, I don't care how tired I am.
That's how I felt the whole time.
Like, you'd love to spread this out over 7 months if you could and just enjoy it. But it's like, no, you got it. We're getting it all in like 3 days here. So you're you just got to go balls to the walls, like sleep, like it is like the sleep when I'm dead sort of thing. And just be like, no, it's just, I'll worry about resting when it's over.
100%. It was, just a weekend you didn't want to end. It was too good. Yeah. And there was never even any, I remember thinking ahead of at the time, you know, on this weekend, you know, there's almost 100 people in the mix. There's bound to be drama at some point in some way, whether that's someone getting upset with something at the meet or someone getting upset at a restaurant or going out or a fight or something. Like, that's got to happen at some point, right? No, it never did. It never did. It was never a thing. Just everyone was in the best mood the entire time.
I don't think anything like that happened, but I don't think it did. But I mean, the biggest question at the end of the whole weekend is, are we going to do it again? You know, that's what the entire conversation Saturday night is like, God, when's the next one?
I think we were still at the freaking ice arena and people were already asking about it. But yeah, at the zoo, I mean, I think that was, I don't even know if I'd been at the zoo 5 minutes and I was already getting that question.
Yes. That's what everyone wants to know. And really the takeaway from it was so much work. Like, I can't even like overstate how much work it was, but also so rewarding at the same time.
Oh yeah.
It would have been nicer. Like, here's what a nice scenario would have been. Maybe if it would have went kind of shitty. It was so much work and it went kind of shitty and we're like, yeah, fuck it. We know we don't got to do that again.
That's not
worth
it.
That was not worth it.
Or, here's another scenario. Someone else has like this company that we're big fans of and we just show up and have a good time.
Yes. Right. We just go show up and have a good time. Yeah. But it went, I honestly think it went so well, we almost can't not do it. Like, I don't know if not doing it is an option.
I don't think it is. I mean,
it's almost like it is like not, that's the comment everyone said. They're like, well, you can't not do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
We had never even discussed next year because we were just trying as hard as we could to get through this year. And our conversation never even started like, well, do we do it? It was just like, well, I mean, we both just had this mutual understanding that, well, people expect this from now on.
Right. So we were already talking about it, of course, you know, it's like, could use a break from it actually, but it's not, I mean, the turnaround time, it's weird though. Like, we almost have to start talking about it though.
Because last year, did we announce it in November, December?
Probably, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I think it was maybe November.
Like, we knew it well before the Arnold that we were doing it.
Yeah. And that's only 3 months away. And last year it felt like we were announcing it late. So that means in the next few months, we'd have to announce it again.
Right. So this isn't the official announcement, but you can be aware we are talking about it. And we're also talking about, you know, send us your suggestions of what we're not going to do. Probably half the things you say are going to be cockamamie plans that can't be executed. But I would still like to hear what your suggestions are on how to make it better. But we're talking about different things. You know, can we make it a 2-platform meet? And that way we can incorporate more lifters.
And also get it done faster too.
And get it done faster. You know, could there be a strong man? Could we do things on multiple days? You know, there's a lot of things, but there's a lot of everything. There's like challenges that go along with it, and there's pros and cons. You know, multiple days sounds fun because you incorporate more people, but then is there just burnout on people? Like, do people really want multiple days?
And we've been to an event where there's multiple days, and the attitudes are not the same for both days.
Right.
That is 100% sure.
So we got a lot of things to consider there.
Do we have a live band that plays for 5 hours straight while everyone's going out there?
There is a number of things, but you know, we want it to, if we're going to do it again, we want it to be good, and if we're going to do it again, we want it to be even better. But it's just tough because it was really, really good and really fun. I do think here's another thing that I'll tell people: the number of people that have messaged me in the last 4 days that have said, what's the requirement? Like, people that weren't here that have just been seeing this all over the internet that have said, how do you get to be in on that? Like, is there a requirement to sign up for that? Like, how can I do that? Like,
you have to have a qualifying total. We send out invites.
And that's why I'm like, no, there couldn't have been a wider range of experience and strength levels at this meet. And I can't emphasize enough how unimportant that was. It was
sort of like the 5th priority on the list of things to do this weekend.
Right.
Was
like everyone's priority. It's so weird how everyone was on the same page of they're like, no, we are coming here and we are having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to do well. I want to lift a lot. And a lot of people did lift a lot, but like the number one priority here was to have fun. And like, there was no like, oh, I only squat 200 pounds. Well, and I squat 700 pounds. Like, so I'm better than you, like I couldn't say enough times
and
how
we've
that's not even a thing.
I mean, if you've done a few meets, everyone's been to a meet where there's the guy that lifts a lot and wants everyone to know about it and makes a really big deal about it.
Yeah.
And that was just that did not exist. That was not a thing.
No. So first of all, don't worry if you don't think you're strong enough. That does not couldn't apply here, even less. That's irrelevant. But what I'm telling people is we're going to do the same thing, assuming this all plays out, and we've got to do the same thing again where Massenomics gym members and supporting member crew get first choice. They just get first dibs, and that's the way that's going to be. So what I've told other people that they're like, well, I want to sign up for that. And I'm like, become a supporting member. That is, I don't know if you're going to get signed up for this if you're not gym member, even if we open it up to a two-platform meet.
This is how it'll go, is your chances of getting on the list if you're not a crew member or a gym member are so small that you probably, the 5-10 people that do get on there, they have some in where they already know ahead of time. And then what'll happen is you'll get on a waiting list, and then you're just playing the waiting game. You don't know if you're going to do a meet or not, which is not a fun spot to be in either.
No, this is legit 100% real. If you really want to get on the next one, you've got to become a supporting member. Like, that is, and also for as fun as this meet is, if that's what it takes to get in on it, I would tell you it is 100% worth it. Alone, even if you got nothing else out of the
there's
supporting
two things
membership.
here. One is it's a couple dollars a month, so it's actually doesn't cost you anything in the scheme of things. And then also, you're going to know everyone in the Discord, and it's going to make you have even more fun at the meet because you know who you're actually competing with.
It will. It is. And like, then you're in on this chat that's all about the meet. Like, you can always find information on other people that are doing it, talking about it. Like, it centralizes the communication stream on, like, literally at the meet and also in preparation and post meet. So yeah, if you want to do it, that's your number one thing. But I don't even know then. Like, it could be
the demand,
even if you're a supporting member,
high.
like, it's gonna fill up. Like, I think the demand for a 2024 one after the way this went is going to be high. And granted, not every single person that made the trip is going to be able to do that every year. So, there will be able to be some rotation in and out of there. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of them that did it are going to want to do it again.
There was a lot that traveled that said, I will 100% be there next year.
I'll say another thing. There was some lifters there that were very experienced power lifters that have done, 5, 10, 15, 25 meets that were like, yeah, man, I got to tell you, this is probably still like easily the best meet we've ever done before. Mm-hmm. Like, we've never had a time like this. Mm-hmm. And I guess that is just tooting our own horn, but and it's not even just tooting our own horn. It's tooting our horn, Dave's horn, the spotter and loaders. And really at the end of the day, it's the people doing the meet that are making it fun. Mm-hmm. Like, we could do all this stuff, and if the people that are lifting and stuff aren't fun, it's still not going to be fun.
There's so many things, though. That is also what's scary is you think, God, did we capture lightning in a bottle? Did all the stars align? Because there's so many things in that puzzle that could break or go slightly off and totally change the outcome of the weekend. It's like, no, they all aligned perfectly. How does that happen?
Yeah, it's fun. Like, when we're at the zoo, even the people that, like, the reporters that wrote Scant's article came to the zoo to get a beer with everyone, and just all these funny things of the weekend. I just couldn't even be impossible to think of all the little individual things. But yeah, that's, if you want a chance at next year, you got to be a supporting member
and the other wild
or
card
a gym member. And
the other wild card,
if you don't live here,
Tanner, the other wild card do we get to tip our hats into the ring next year? Because, man, that looked so much fun, didn't it?
Oh, God. And I don't know. Did you see I put something on it? Like, even actually leading up to this meet on my own personal Instagram, I kept being a little coy, like it was meat prep. And I was just kind of doing that, screwing around. But several people kept asking, like, oh, are you actually going to lift? And I was kind of like, oh, I don't know. We'll see. And I knew I wasn't for this one. But I think it could be doable that we do the meet.
I think so, especially after doing one and we saw, we sort of know what needs to be in place. But, man, when I was taking videos back by right when guys are about to go out, I'm like, this is the funnest spot to be when everyone's just like, yeah, let's do this.
That is that is like in life, standing at that spot when people are going out to that power lift, like to the platform, is a fun. There is almost you can physically feel the energy of that location at a powerlifting meet.
Yeah. There's not much that beats that.
No, there is not much that beats that.
Especially when you're doing it with friends. And because we've done that both ways. And when you're with people, God, it makes it so fun.
Oh, God. And if we both did the meet, that would, it would be a special edition.
For us, especially. That just might ruin powerlifting forever. Like, it's just like, all right, I've never ever.
I'm not doing any other ones. Yeah. Actually, that's probably the biggest downside of this meet that a lot of the lifters said is like, well, thanks, you just ruined every other meet for me for the rest of my life. Like, now the rest of them are not fun, and which isn't necessarily true, but like that's kind of a joke, but sort of still also kind of true. But if we did the meet, that would kick it up another notch. Meet day, even this meet day, we're probably okay to do it. It's literally just like we would be it's not going to be an ideal lifting situation because you and I are going to be very stressed the day.
Oh yeah, and I would go into this meet thinking that I'm going to be setting all-time PRs. It's just I'm going to go have the best time lifting that I've ever had in my life.
Right. It's actually just like what we described about everyone else. So you just have to get yourself in that same mentality.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be very busy leading up to it. And even the day of, like, it's not going to be your perfect warm up and all this because we probably will have to take care of something else quick here and there. And
between flights, like there's going to be a list of a few things that, all right, we're done squatting. Now we got so-and-so needed this and this and this and that. But it would be really fun to do.
It would be fun. And is it really the Massenomics Lift Hard Leave Easy Classic if we don't ever get in on it?
I don't know. We got to see what it's all about. See if it's all it's cracked up to be. We're just getting it all
so
secondhand.
We'll see. That could be a fun addition for next year too if we did something there too.
I agree.
Oh, so that's the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic.
That is the meet. That's what it's all about.
It really was classic, wasn't it? An instant classic.
It was an instant classic. It was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it was they were talking about the AC and I was just reading the Discord. They're talking about so there is no AC. The only thing there is in there is there's in-floor piping that keeps the ice cold. But it's not on, they do not utilize that during this part of the year. So there isn't anything for us to use there. That's something we talked about too, is venue ideas. There's potentially there's potentially one other possible venue that we could do what we would want to do there. We don't know yet if it would work or not, but there is one other possible venue. This venue worked out really well. The only thing was just the not being able to climate control.
That was it. That's
the only thing.
Sucked.
But there is one other venue that we could maybe get all of this plus that. Maybe.
So we're scheming over here.
Yeah. We're scheming. We'll be scheming for the next few months to figure out what we can do.
That's all we do, right? We scheme.
That's all we do. We scheme. We're schemers. So I just would really thank everyone that was involved, whether you...
Yes, thank everyone. I mean, we've said it 1,000 times now, but refs, spotters, loaders, competitors, spectators, just anyone, vendors, volunteers. There was a ton of people that volunteered. Sponsors.
Whether you just helped us pick up a plate and move it, or just even if you just came up and said like, hey, what can I help with? There's several people I'm like, well, almost nothing right now, but it's just
to
knowing
know
there's people around that are
people
willing
like
to
you
help.
are ready to help
Yeah.
is helpful in itself.
And it's necessary because it does take a village to do something like that. And it is a lot of stress because even if you don't lay your hands on everything, you're like laying your mind on everything. You know what I mean?
And you're also
like,
just assuming people are going to do what they say they're going to do. And
Right.
we were lucky enough that everyone that said they were going to do something did something, but that's not how it normally works. A lot of times people say they're going to do stuff and that doesn't happen.
Doesn't get yeah. So, but yeah, big thanks to everyone involved and for everyone that, made a crazy trip to get here. We know that that's not like an easy undertaking to get here for a lot of you, and it's a big deal.
Keith had like 18 hours worth of layovers or something. That's insane.
Right. But so many people had that trip, and still, I mean, from a lot of them, I hear the comments like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be the first to sign up next year. And that's what I want it to be like. It's like, no, even if this travel here sucks, we want to make it so good that you can't
that I'm
afford
just
not
missing
to do it.
out. Yeah, I cannot afford to miss this. I'm missing out too much.
Right.
Plus, next year it gets that thing of, after you do something once, you have the routine of like, well, we do this and this and this, and then it starts to really live into the legend of it all.
Yeah, and I think like things we must keep in a Friday night party. You've got to do that.
Yeah.
And the Saturday night party, you got to do that. I actually think like to add it in, maybe they're lesser, but I think what you do is like a Thursday evening, like we did. Like, no, we're gonna have a designated Thursday meeting, Thursday night evening. Like maybe we have to talk to one of the restaurants and be like, yeah, I don't know, we're gonna get like 20 to 40 people in here.
Yes, so everyone knows, because that was the thing. We didn't even know if anyone would want to do stuff, and now that we know that Thursday night's a thing too, let's just have a spot.
And then I think the other thing would be whether this is probably a Sunday thing. So some people won't be here yet, but just like this, maybe you're not here by the Thursday thing. Well, that's fine. Friday night's a bigger deal. Saturday night's an even bigger deal.
And then
or maybe you're not
Sunday
here.
brunch.
Well, that's what I think. Sunday is like a gym, because there needs to be a specific gym meetup time because everyone wants to get in the gym and everyone's meeting there, and you can go whenever you want. But so maybe Sunday there's from 10 to noon is like, yep, we're all meeting at the gym. And anyone that wants to is training, or if not, you were just hanging out. And
that'd be really fun too. If everyone knows there's one designated time.
Right. So I think that's like really, really fine tuning that schedule and giving people more, because I think everyone really liked the designated because it puts everyone in the same place that wants to be there.
Yeah. And you don't have to send 50 messages on the Discord, round everyone up, wait 30 minutes for this guy and an hour for this guy. Yeah.
So I think that's like turning Thursday, giving something an option for Thursday evening, and Sunday early, giving people an option that are still there. And I think that's something we can do to improve it. And it really turns it into this like event, it's not just a powerlifting meet. Like it's really not just a powerlifting meet.
Then there really is a full weekend itinerary at that point.
Right.
It's like you're going on a cruise and you're getting the schedule of events.
Yeah. Yeah. That is more the way I see it. But I think that creates a value for people, and they're like, well, I'm willing to make this trip because it's not just a powerlifting meet.
And if you don't if you don't know people that well and you have that many scheduled events to meet up with people and chat, I mean, you can't walk out of that not having friends,
And if we could get testimonials from people, from crew members this year that they didn't know people before this, and they came and they're like, oh, I just made like 25 new best friends, like legitimately that's that really, if you're maybe you're in the crew, but you consider yourself a bit of a loner, but I promise you're going to find a group of people that you can relate to in a big way at an event like this. Like there is no doubt in my mind. Yeah, it was really cool beans.
Yeah, it was amazing. Is there anything else to even say about it? I mean, we could go on for another couple hours, but
no, I didn't really prepare not overrated, underrated, but maybe we could do like on the fly over under for the weekend almost. It's like so I don't know if you have any that come to your mind, but I would kick off with this one. So overrated or underrated, since a lot of people really got to give it a go this weekend for the first time. Overrated or underrated Taco John's?
I genuinely couldn't tell if some people thought that we think it's the world's best Mexican restaurant, or where they thought we aligned on it. I think as a fast food taco place, it's underrated. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't exist in a ton of places. If you're comparing it to the greater spectrum of Mexican cuisine, I mean, we're talking fast food here, so you got to have your expectations in line. But I think Taco John's is still underrated.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, we've got to say.
I ate it twice this weekend. I couldn't tell you last time I had
obligated.
I couldn't tell you last time I had Taco John's twice in 4 days in my life.
Right. Overrated or underrated pyrotechnics at a powerlifting meet.
Oh, we forgot to talk about that. Yeah, Dave had the fire out. Damn, that really steps the whole production value up in a hurry, doesn't it?
That's a must, isn't it? Like, there's like no way of not having that.
Kind of surprising you don't see more pyrotechnics at just events in general.
That's true. That's true.
But they are underrated. Those were great.
Yeah.
Those were an awesome addition.
Yeah. Okay. Overrated or underrated? Since we talked about it, Pounders. It's an Aberdeen hot spot that we hit up a little bit there.
I think Pounders is underrated. They do bar food really good. The service is always good. The beer selection is on point. It's got a vibe to it. You know, you feel like you're walking into somewhere that there's actually some thought and effort put into. So I think Pounders is underrated. There's a reason people magically gravitate towards there when they come to town and they've never been anywhere, and we didn't make the suggestion because it's got a vibe,
everyone,
you know?
Like almost everyone ended up there at least once, probably.
And like everyone did, and I'm like, that was a good spot to stop, and I think most people would agree that it was they're good. It's good stuff.
Okay, here's the last one I have. Overrated or underrated? The Frogger drink at the zoo. You ever had the Frog?
I didn't have it. No, did you have it?
Okay, no, but a bunch of people are like, "Oh yeah, that's a must-have."
I've never even heard of it.
Oh yeah, it's a green drink.
Oh,
I'm looking up what's in a Frogger cocktail. Actually,
I didn't even know that was a thing at all there.
Yeah, I think it's a zoo staple. I guess it wasn't even just like a special for the day or something. It's like, you go to the zoo and you have a Frogger, I guess.
Wow, the times have really changed.
Yeah. I don't know what exactly is in the Frogger, and I didn't know then.
Boy, I found some ingredients here, but I feel like they were not pouring these ingredients at the zoo.
But it looked very green.
Boy, I don't know.
To be continued on that one.
Yeah,
we'll find out by the 2024.
Get more info on that one.
Okay. I don't know what's really in the Frogger cocktail. I don't know what they're putting in the water at the zoo bar.
It's just Mountain Dew and vodka.
I don't know what they're putting in the water at the zoo, but people seem to have a really good time there. Maybe it was the alcohol that they were putting in.
They're doing something there. I'm not sure what it is, but
Big Matt did give me some of his bourbon to try on Friday night, and I was like, I think this is going to taste good this time. I tried it and I'm like, nope, doesn't taste good.
Still not the right mindset for it.
Yep. I'm like, I was really going into it thinking, I like they were smoking stogies and stuff though too.
They were.
I never even saw that in person. I only saw that like on the video.
Oh,
I
you did?
Know where I was. Yeah,
I saw them have those, and I asked Dylan. He got those in town, and he goes, "Oh, the I think it was Up in Smoke." He goes, "Oh, that was a great store." Thinking, really, you're even giving him praise. Okay, there must be something to it. Never been there. I don't know. I'm not a smoker, so I have no idea.
Bunch of stogie smokers in the crew though.
There was a lot of them living easy.
That's just fun. That's just fun stuff. Looks like you passed overrated, underrated, even though we still don't know what a Frogger drink is.
Good. I was worried that this was going to be the episode we broke the streak.
Yeah, so I guess we have to air this one now. Should we? What do we got? Swiss.
I got a little something for you here.
Yeah.
And that's from our friends at SwissLink. In 1995, Maurice Big Mo Huffman founded SwissLink with the mission to bring authentic Swiss Army goods to the United States and into the hands of those yearning for quality gear at uncompromised prices. Now, for nearly 3 decades, Big Mo has been traveling far and wide in search of the best items from military forces around the world. Big Mo doesn't only find authentic military clothing for SwissLink, he brings in everything you can imagine from Swiss military rangefinders to Italian police tracksuits. SwissLink.com is also home to the SwissLink Classic Wool Blankets. They're an ideal mix of 80% wool and 20% recycled fibers. It's that special blend that provides a soft, luxurious feel while maintaining all the benefits of wool. The designs are reminiscent of brands that rhyme with Schwendelton and Schwudson Bay, but are available at only a fraction of the cost. Swisslink's exceptional collection and dedication to quality customer service distinguishes them from the rest. Enjoy a 15% discount on your next purchase at swisslink.com by entering code MASS at checkout. That's MASS to save 15% at swisslink.com. Thank you, Swisslink.
Thanks, Swisslink. Yeah, if you're here this weekend, we don't really need the wool blankets from Swisslink in July in South Dakota, but a few months here, if you come to visit us, you'll want one of those Swisslink wool blankets.
You'll want a blanket or two.
You'll definitely want a blanket or two. Yeah, make sure to check out the items from the drop that by the time you listen to this, it's all been dropped. It's all the meat stuff. Every lifter got a meat tee. They got their commemorative Aberdeen, South Dakota map and program schedule. They got their actual program. They got a bottle of Obsidian Ammonia Lift Hard Live Easy Classic ammonia. That stuff was floating around like candy in the warm-up room.
Oh, my God.
You
It
get a
was
secondhand
everywhere.
contact high from ammonia in the warm-up room. And then also they got a bottle of Old West barbecue sauce, of course. So our lifters were, in addition to all the awards they got, they were not going home empty-handed, none of them.
Ew. They had lots of good stuff.
Buy some stuff from the meat. We'll include a program there if you're buying meat stuff while those supplies last. And if you order over $75, we'll include a meat poster with it also while those supplies last. Some of the stuff is pretty limited. We don't have a large inventory left because people were eating it up. Sales were great at in Aberdeen. It was fun. We got to sell a lot of stuff there. We always like that, but we do have some items still available. So please support us by checking those out. Also support us by becoming a supporting member. We need your help so we can keep the funds rolling in and hopefully turn this 2024 meet into even a bigger and better and wilder and easier living success than it was this year. Is that it about all? Is that it about everything? So we don't have to. We're not going to talk about this ever again.
Yeah. Oh, we can check the box on this one. It's done. Never to be mentioned again. I'd say that's it for this week. I have a feeling you'll probably hear about it off and on for the next several months.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Thanks everyone for listening. Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Baird, but please just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.